What's up guys, it's Lord Botha here with another video, and Assassin's Creed Hexe. This is apparently the next project after Shadows that's supposed to be released. Now, Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed does have the whole Infinity project that they're coming out with, but that's more of like an Animus style hub or whatever where you can access all your games. It's a really weird concept. It almost seems like another version of their own kind of launcher. I'm not quite sure, but Hexe is the actual next game in the franchise that's lined up. Now, there have already been multiple leaks about this game. Insider Gaming has had pretty exclusive hardcore reports on this, and it turns out a lot of their sourcing is correct, and we're going to get into that. But the bigger news is this headline right here. This comes to us from That Park Place. Ubisoft allegedly dreading the release of its upcoming Assassin's Creed Hexe after it was rumored to be, quote, the gayest Assassin's Creed yet. Ubisoft is allegedly dreading the release of its upcoming Assassin's Creed Hexe game after it was rumored to be, quote, the gayest Assassin's Creed yet. Now, this information again comes from YouTuber Endymion, who claims to have sources from within Ubisoft handing them this information. So take this insider information as you will. Again, I've seen several streams that Endymion has been on. He seems like a pretty thorough guy, well researched, and not somebody who's just going to spout whatever to get attention. Now, he does say here in his first quote that the game is supposedly taking place during the Salem witch trials, which is different from what we've heard originally, that it's supposed to take place in Central Europe during the 1600s. Maybe he's just speaking generally here, in that there was a lot of trials and investigation into witchcraft during this time, both in Europe and the Americas. But he also says here, quote, I'm told that it only has a single female protagonist, and it's also the most fanatical Assassin's Creed yet. There will be lots of mysticism, and will also have, as they said, very striking visuals. I don't know if that means an entirely different art style or anything, but this is what I was told. He goes on to say, I was told it would still be an open world action game like the other ones, but from what I've been told, it's the biggest departure yet from the series. My source claims that Hexe is very, very female power oriented. We are talking lots of lesbian relationships and female characters. It has witch covens and apparently very little masculine presence within the game. Although my sources told me that they believe that the game will be scaled down in the future and then made into a Liberation-esque game instead of a mainline title. As for why it is likely the game will be scaled down, he said, mostly because Ubisoft does not have confidence that Hexe will sell at all. And this too was put in development when a lot of these pandering were first being pitched or made. I'm told that Ubisoft is contemplating reducing resources for this Hexe game because they were originally considering it to be the next mainline title in the Assassin's Creed franchise after Shadows. There's already 4 years of development time in the game already, with another 2 at least left before it's finished, hence why I said it would likely come out in 2026. They are internally, allegedly, very angry that people are not enjoying the female-centric push for this game and others. And there are discussions that the game might get gutted in order to change it to make it more commercially viable, if you will. But I doubt anything they can do to the game will fix it very much. A few things to unpack there. First, yes, the first trailer for this game, and only trailer I believe that's out, is an only 30-second trailer that came out in 2022. So this game has been in development a very long time. So long that it is starting to become one of those games that it's hard to argue how it's going to be profitable. Secondly, he's correct. People are fed up with the girl boss tropes, both in movies, television, and in video games. And this game has been in development since a time when it was still seen as financially viable and acceptable to create a game that pushes that kind of storyline. But people aren't buying it anymore, which is why you've seen failures like Star Wars Outlaws, which was made by Ubisoft. You're also seeing the heavy race pandering agenda, with making Yasuke a main playable character and giving him a role in society that he never historically had, while claiming to be historically accurate as a game, which people are too rejecting. And it's also bound for financial failure, no matter how long they want to delay this and rework it. Now, he does talk about a single female protagonist, and that seems to have been confirmed. It was originally reported by Insider Gaming, the single female protagonist of Elsa, right? And the Assassin's Creed Twitter page has pretty much confirmed that by an accidental post that they made. I think they also may have had a second trailer for this game. I'm not quite sure. I didn't see a second trailer when I was looking up trailers for this game, but I did hear people chatting about it and talking about it online. So there might be a second trailer that they also kind of leaked that information out. And another conclusion we can draw from all this is that we recently heard reports that Ubisoft was looking for more talent team members to come on to rework a project that they have slated to come out in Q3 of 2025, that they've been very hush-hush about, and they won't actually say what it is. Could it quite possibly be that Assassin's Creed Hexe is that game? And Demian doesn't seem to think it is. He says that this game isn't going to come out to 2026. But personally, I think it is that game, because Q3 would mean this game would release sometime between July and September 30th. And if it releases in September, that would put it in the fall kind of Halloweenish season. And this would be a game about witches and fall into that sort of Halloween category, right? So I could definitely see them trying to rush to push this thing out in Q3 of 2025. And this is that secret project that they're talking about, that they're hiring new talent for. And I read that in an article when they were talking about having to rework Assassin's Creed Shadows and potentially having to delay that again because they needed so much more talent to come work on this other project. It would make sense then that this project that's been in what seems to be development hell and needs a lot of rework, especially following the failures of things like Outlaws, that it would be that game that's coming out in Q3 of 2025. But if they're not doing heavy rework for this game, and they plan on still releasing it as the gayest Assassin's Creed game yet, with very little masculinity and all the things Endymion is talking about here, as reported from his insider in Ubisoft, yeah, this game's gonna be a complete failure. And I think Ubisoft knows that at this point. And I think that's why they're probably extensively reworking it now. Because, quite honestly, they definitely can't withstand financially two giant failures in 2025. I don't think they could even stand one giant financial failure in 2025. So it'll be very, very close on the numbers when Assassin's Creed Shadows comes out and it fails miserably. Again, though, because that's supposed to come out in February of 2025, when Monster Hunter's Wilds comes out, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Civ 7, my guess they're going to try to blame that failure on competition to try to help their shareholders cope. And I'm sure that's probably not going to go over well, but it's really their only path. But those are just my thoughts on all this. If you have your own thoughts, go ahead and leave them in the comments. If you liked this video, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, appreciate you watching all of it. And we'll talk to you again later.